Yes. Whoa. Welcome to church. Welcome to church, my people, my people. Karibuni sana kwenye kanisa. Welcome to the Sunday service. Shenanigans Sunday ndio tumefika. We are here. The only church where we talk about serious issues in a non-serious manner. I am your bishop, reverend, pastor, Mwegas. And this is the Mwegas show. So let's get preaching. Let's get preaching. Sawa. Kwa sermon ya leo, in today's sermon, yes, we have a lot. Really nice show for you. So we are going to talk about New Age Christian feminism and what that means to the modern man, strong, independent women, and their refusal to understand what independence means or independent means. Also, weak man or weakest man kicked out of his own house. So why you don't have to be a why you don't have to be a Kinuthia, and why you need to be in your masculine frame. And also, as a son, you don't eat what your father has already eaten. And other stories. Welcome to church. I am your bishop, Reverend Pastor Mwegas. Let's get preaching. Sawa. This is going to be an interesting live. It's going to be as short as possible, as humanly possible. I'm going to keep it as short as humanly possible. Why? Because there is rain and I have iron sheets. So when it decides to hit my iron sheets, show inaisha. That's where we stop the show. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. Just subscribe. Now let's talk about New Age Christian feminism. So there is this issue about women who are in church and how they perceive the relationship between man and woman. These women who have embraced the feminist agenda, and then they claim that they are Christians. You know, Christians and Christianity and feminism, there is somewhere where it doesn't go together. Okay. So, because Christianity does not believe that man and woman are equal. So just on the baseline, hapo kwa baseline, the foundation, the you know, what is it called? Ground zero. Christianity does not believe man and woman are equal. They believe that one of them is valuable in their own way, but they are not equal. So you cannot be a Christian woman or a Christian man and be a feminist. So let's start from there. So why am I talking about this New Age Christian feminism? So I had a discussion on my Facebook page. No, actually it was not on my page. It was on a friend's timeline. So she had put something to do with marriage and how women need to be, the issue of equality in a marriage and how Jesus taught story of love. So I'm like, why are we conflating these two things? Oh yeah, and she was talking about issues to do with let me see if I can remember what exactly she was saying, or at least try to paraphrase. Is that women or wives needs to be cherished, and that a household that people believe in equality is a household that is blessed, or such nonsense, and that women, that men are not better than women. So that is basically what she was talking about. And I came in. Oh yeah, and I remember now clearly where the issue of contention was. The issue of contention was that men love your women so that your women can submit to you. Yeah, men love your women so that your women can submit to you. That is where my issue of contention came in. Why? And I told her, you know what? men were instructed to love their wives, and wives were instructed to submit to their husbands. The Bible did not say, men love your wives so that your wives can submit to you. That's not what the Bible said. So the issue of men loving their wives and women submitting to their husbands are two different things. This is instructions to men, and this is instructions to women. One has nothing to do with the other. And that's where now the issue of the new age Christian feminism comes in. Because now these women and these weak men, who we call pastors and bishops in these feminist, egocentric churches, now have decided that the two go together. Or the two, what is it called? That one precedes the other. That it is love that brings submission. Are you getting what I'm saying? They have decided that men and women were just sitting together, and then whoever wrote said, you men, you love your wives, and then you wives, when you are loved, submit. That's not what happened. But these people are trying to link that to be like the same thing. That you men, husbands, you love your wives, and then you wives, when you receive that love, submit. That's not what happened. It was very simple. You men, you love your wives, and you women, submit to your husbands. Simple. Everybody had their own instructions. Everybody was given their own instructions. It was that simple. Everybody was given their own instructions, and one instruction does not depend on the other. So this is what that means. It means this, that man, if you choose your wife wrongly, you still are required by the church to love her, irrespective of whether she's submitting to you or not. Women, if you choose wrongly, you are required to submit to your husband, whether he loves you or not. So your instructions are not dependent on the other person's instructions. Kila mtu afanye kazi yake. Kila mtu afanye yake. You men, you love your wives. You women, you submit. And then, do you know why it was put that way? Because men, submission for men is not a big deal. Okay? Men, we know. We understand hierarchies. That's why we fight amongst ourselves as boys, so that we establish that hierarchy. And within that hierarchy, there is people who submit to others. That's why it is very easy for men to follow orders. Right? It's very easy for men to follow orders. They know how to submit. They know that this person has more power than myself, and so I have to submit to that person's power. If that person surpasses their authority, then I fight back. But submission is not an issue to men. Okay? We don't what is it called? We have no big problem with submission. That's why you see the best workers are men, the best leaders are men. Why? Because we understand hierarchy. However, love is what we are to roho yetu inakuwaga ngumu. And that's why we were instructed to love, because that is something that is very hard for us to do. Because love exposes you to vulnerability. It makes you vulnerable to the other party. Okay? Now, women love. Women have no problem with loving. They love everything from plants to pets to random strangers to celebrities. Women love. But submitting, that's where they draw the line. And that's why the Bible told them, submit. So man was given a task that is very hard for him to accomplish. And woman was given a task that is very hard for her to accomplish. Because when these people do these tasks, then they sacrifice. They fight their own nature in order to do what is required. And when you're fighting your own nature on behalf of somebody else, if each person is fighting their own nature, then the bond is stronger. So that's the whole reason. So that's why it is a requirement for you women to submit to your husband, whether your husband is whatever he is. You chose him, you decided to be his wife, it is your duty to submit. Men, husbands, you are expected to love your wives. You chose her, you married her, you are your wife. So if you chose wrong, that's your problem. Shida ni yako. Don't come crying to us. That is your choice. Live with it. And I put this clearly. It's like in a corporation or a business or a farm or a company. If you are a personal assistant, because women are men's personal assistants, wives are husbands' personal assistants. So if you are employed as a personal assistant to a CEO of a company, and that's what men are, we are CEOs of our own families. Okay, so if you are employed as a CEO, it does not matter whether your personal assistant is doing her duties or not. You are still the CEO. You're supposed to do your duty. If you are the personal assistant, it does not matter whether the CEO of the company is being a CEO. You are supposed to be the personal assistant. Whether the person who is the CEO is behaving like a CEO, is doing whatever as a CEO, that's not your problem. Your job is to assist that CEO. So hakuna issue ya I stopped being a personal assistant because you stopped being a CEO. Then you'll be asked, why are we paying you then? You're supposed to be doing your job. His job is to be a CEO. If he's failing at his job, it is not your duty to do anything about that. There are higher powers who are supposed to come in and intervene. You continue doing your job. So wives and women, stop this nonsense of sijui, if my husband does this, then I will. You do your job. And then husbands, stop in nonsense here. If my wife, because a lot of men don't have that nonsense, but a few of them today have that. That if I am waiting for my wife to do this so that I do. No, you're not supposed to wait for anyone. You are the boss. Do you? Okay? And it is interesting that the women, the wives, who say that they cannot submit to their husband, still expect their husband to pay their rent, still expect their husband to feed them, still expect their husband to protect them. Because men know that regardless of what she is doing or regardless of how she is behaving, as long as she has title of my wife, I have obligations. But women don't do that. Women are like, mimi nitampatia ile siku atafanya. Conditional femininity, conditional submission, new age feminism ishaingia kwa kanisa. Men, I want to tell you this, and especially young men. Woe unto you if you go to church to get a wife. Woe unto you if you go to church to get a wife. Wacha nirudie. For those people who have problem with hearing, woe unto you if you have to go to church to get a wife. And then double woe unto you if that woman is over 30. Let's let that sink in. Double woe unto you if that woman is over 30. Because you know what happens? You are getting the HOEs, the reformed street people from the streets. And you know the streets do not let its people go. If she belongs to the streets, she will go back to the streets. So this is what happens with women. So when they are young, when they are of age, kwanzia hapo 16, by 16 msichana kwanga of age, okay, akigrow, and then now the government decides to give her adult status by accepting you're over 18 and giving her a national identity card, like Upper Kenya, right? So now she's 18, so her sexual value, her sexual marketplace value is at 100%. She can get any man she wants. And then all men want her, or at least a majority of men want her. Why? Because her sexual marketplace value is at 100%. Now, what does she do? This woman, she decides, I'm going to get mbabas, right? At 18, 19, 20. Wakati bei yake iko juu, she gets mbabas who sets her up nicely, you know. No hate to wababas. Wababas, you are doing God's work, right? Sets her up nice, gives her a nice lifestyle. You know, now she's growing, and then she will have a couple of them, right? she'll have a couple of wababas. So you'll see this woman photo shoots. She's doing vacations where she's in Masai Mara. She's not working, or at this time she's interning somewhere. So, and you know internships don't pay anything or much. So she's in Diani, she's in Zanzibar, she's in Nax, she's in wherever, Masai Mara, or sijui Marine Park, whatever. So she's getting the soft life, the treatment, right? And she's dishing the kuchi. Kila mtu anakula, right? And then there will be someone who really likes her, right? Of course, her age mate. So young men, wachaneni na age mates wenyu. That's just a waste of time. So this man who cares for her anawekewa masharti, right? You have to wait for me until we get married, sijui nini, all that nonsense. But then the wababas are chewing this thing left, right, and center. There is also someone else who is not a mbaba, is not doing anything. At least wababas in a business transaction, all right? She's giving kuchi, she's getting something in return. There is just some son of Pharaoh, somebody who's just getting this thing for free. Why? Because it's good on the stick, man. It's good with the stick. It's good with the stick. So this guy who cares for this woman, who wants to do right by this woman, amepewa masharti, you know, and especially these fake Christians. So wababas wanakula, vijana wa mtaa wanakula, kama Mwegas anakula, Njuguna Wanduthi anakula, Omoshu mwenye anachomaga fish pale anakula. But wewe mwenye unampenda, wewe mwenye unataka kumuoa, wewe ukuli. Wewe umeambiwa I am saved and you cannot eat until that day that we tie our knot or we do our vows, whatever. Pingu ya maisha, when now you are in life imprisonment, that's when now you will eat. So now ameshafika 20, ashafika 25, yule jamaa akakaa akangoja kwa, hey, I'm not doing nothing, hii wacha ikae. So when she gets to somewhere like 25, si bei yake inashuka. Remember, the price starts at 100% and keeps going down, right? So now she's 25. The wababas are no longer interested. Those with good money are no longer interested because I'm a bit, right? I'm a bit 25, mnyanyes. So now, because you know, even in the wababas, there is a hierarchy. So now, tier number 2 of wababas comes in, starts chewing, right? She gets pregnant. First kid, 20, 25, 26. Oh, babas, you know I'm pregnant for you. Pregnant for who? Nonsense. Block. Babas disappears. So ameingia kwa single mother, chama, mothers union here, wa mama sako. She joins wa mama sako at 25, 26. 20. When she gets to 28, she realizes, wow, even the wababas have dried. Even the wababas now she's getting are those akina Jogona wa Mitura and ule mutu wa pale kwa mafuta taa and awa madereva wa marori, hizi marori za mchanga. And now she starts remembering, hey, by the way, kuna Kinothia nilikuwa nimeambia ngoje until we are married, and that Kinothia is still chasing after me, right? And if this woman, if she's not in church, this is when she gets to church at 27, 28. Wakati kitu imepigwa sasa, imeshafungua ina hata inside sasa ziko nje, iko inside out, sasa imepigwa iko inside out. Anaingia kanisa, kiingia kanisa anakuwa mama assembly. She becomes the choir leader, sijui the ward leader nini. Now she's holier than thou. After she's been bomolewed until her kanyaunyau is now inside out. And after getting 1, 2, 3 kids. And now that's where Kinothia comes in. Anakuja kutafuta bibi kanisa. Anapatana na nani? Huyu dem. And now he thinks that that since she's in church, she must be good. Hii kitu iliharibiwa kitambo. So woe unto you, man, if you're going to church to get a wife, and double unto you, man, if you're getting to church and getting a woman who is over 30. Afadhali ubaki huko kwa dunia upate poison, unaenda ukijua hii ni sumu, unaenda unachukua cobra unaishi yao kwa nyumba ukijua hii ni sumu, na unajua sumu yake mahali imefika. Do you know what happens when you live with poisonous, when you live with venomous snakes? You have anti-venom kwa nyumba because you know who you are living with. But now wewe umeenda huko kwa kanisa ukapatiwa cobra, black mamba, ama hii inaitwa black widow spider ukapewa, and now you don't know you are living with a black widow spider. You think unaishi na zile mguu kubwa, those ones which are not poisonous. So haujajipanga hata na dawa ya sumu, and then you get beat. Now you get surprised. So encourage wanaume, I would rather wende uchukue poko hunters kwa streets, mwenye unajua ni poko hunters, mwenye unajua life yake, unajua yeye ni nani na ni nini amefanya, rather than kwenda kwa kanisa kuchukua ex poko hunters mwenye anajifanya mother of Jesus, Mary mother of Jesus. Nonsense. So wanaume, rule number 1, if she has not grown in church, and kama ameenda campus, hata kama ni wa kanisa, tuachane na hiyo. So just because a woman is in church does not mean she's good for you, that she's a good wife, that she led a good life. Just because a woman is in church does not mean that she's good for you, that she led a good life, and that she's a wife. Na nimefikisha hiyo story hapo. So if it's bad, it's bad. Now let's look at some story hapa. This women, you are a special breed. Let me just say that. Women, you are a special breed. And now, I know some of you are wondering, or will wonder when you come back Badai and you're watching this, and you, what problem do I have with women? And I will tell you, I have zero problems with women. Zero. What I don't like is people who do this. People who do this. So let's just let's just look at this story. So Cheptoek Boyo, I am celibate. Cold water is my medicine. You see venye ameweka, she's celibate, so she's not getting stick. Okay? But now I want us to look at something. Let's look at this. Initially, it was hard to adjust to motherhood. I gave birth to my daughter at 22, and I wanted to do fun stuff with my friends, but most of the time I was in the house breastfeeding or cleaning. Raising a child is expensive. Plan before you have one. Yes, I have been practicing celibacy for months now. Although it was not my intention, I had taken a break from dating, and after 6 months, I started researching about celibacy. Almost 2 years into practicing it, I'm not in a hurry to bash. Turudi hapa. So, after giving birth, after parting, after giving the cat away, she got pregnant. She gave birth. And then this when she realized celibacy is important. What is wrong with women? Because they seem to have a problem with chronology. They don't understand that the horse is the one that has to come before the cat. It seems like they are confused. Like all women seem to be confused, or at least a majority of women seem to be confused, that it is the horse that comes before the cat, and not the cat that comes before the horse. What do I mean? You should be celibate before you get a child. So by being celibate means that you will not get a child. This is the comedy just writes itself. The and you know, like content inajitengeza tu yenyewe. Content keeps like, you know, this is how it's supposed to be. You start by being celibate. So by being celibate, you don't get pregnant. So you keep your celibacy until you get married. So when you get married, then you give it away. When you give it away, then now when you get pregnant, you are getting pregnant to a husband, right? You know, marry before you carry. That's the way it's supposed to be. So now this woman will meet a man. And then she'll tell a man, you know, me, I've been celibate. So let's say right now she's been celibate for 2 years. Let's say she does 5 years. And she's like, you know, me, I'm celibate. Me and you, we can't do nothing until we get married. This is the first date. So ujui ako na mtoi. So you think, hapa nimeangukia. I've fallen for this one. Ish. This Nairobi. This Kenya. Hey, getting a woman who is celibate is very hard. So the man assumes anapata mali safi. Mali yenye haijapigwa. Mali yenye probably yeye ndio mtu wa kwanza or wa pili or wa tatu kuingia. Until he realizes that hii mahali imepita mtoto. So hii celibacy ni ya nini? Now imagine as a man you're dating this woman and then she's locking her nini. Amekwambia ukuli. Why? Because she's celibate. Right? She's celibate. She's practicing celibacy and it's doing wonders for her. She's happy with her life. So when mwanaume umekuja unaanza kudate and now you want to go to Disneyland. You want to go to Disneyland. So hii story mingi yenye people are telling you, so you are like, hey, we've been seeing each other for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, bruh. Tumekuwa 2 weeks. Hey, nataka kuonja. Then she's like, we date, we marry, alafu nikupe. So you decide, wacha nende nikule kwingine, because njaa, of course. You know, when you're hungry, wacha nende nikule kwingine as I wait kwa hii chakula hivi. So now after we made it like a year down the line, or a month or some, when you get serious, that's when now you realize, anakuambia, by the way, you know, I have a child. So what are the options? The options is for you as a man to exit. The option is for you as a man to do what? To exit. Why? Because if she didn't require marriage for a man to impregnate her, why should she require marriage for you to have sex with her? Let me repeat that for those people who are at the back. If she did not require marriage for a man to impregnate her and give her a child, why should she require marriage from you for her to give up her box? So as a man, exit. Exit left and keep going. Don't play these games. These are old and tired games. So it's good that she's celibate because that's her choice, right? And if she gets a man, I hope she's not stupid and decide that I'm going to require this man who is interested in me to marry me so that I can give up my box. The box that I already gave to somebody else who was less worthy, who made me pregnant and decided that they are not going to marry me. So men, they should not get better than their baby daddy. If their baby daddy did not marry them, don't marry them, right? See, it is different when you are with a divorced woman who has children. If she got those children in marriage. Why? Because at least she required marriage for her to get pregnant. So there is a level of competency, a level of akili that went into that. Yes, she's divorced, so she failed in her marriage. So when you're getting into that nonsense, yeah, contractual agreement with the government na in marriage, you already know that's somebody tried it, lost. And if the first person lost, always imagine that the first person was better than you. Why? Because he got her when she was at her prime. Now you are getting something that is older, something that is used, something that already ishaza. That's what you're getting. So it's not prime. This is like kwa highway, and then you are like 15 kilometers away, huko ndio mahali shamba yako unauziwa, unaambiwa ni prime land. Prime land aji na iko huko kwa msitu katikati. That's what you are getting. So you pay price kulingana na ile product umewekewa kwa meza. And Kevin Samuel used to ask a very simple question: what gains value with age and use? What product in the market gains value with age and use? So wanaume, avoid kisonga. Let's be honest. Tukwe too honest na watu, because you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot win. This game is rigged. So the only thing you can do is not play at all, or when they ask you to play, you just come up with your own rules. Unatokea unapata people are kicking the, because utaingia kwa field ukifikiria ni football, upate ni rugby, then kuambo ni football, these are the rules. Umeingia kwa field kidogo kidogo, unaona mtu amebeba ball na anakimbia nayo, because women don't play by the rules. So ukiona imebebwa na mkono mtu anakimbia, just exit the field, wache ikuwe walk over. Let's look at strong independent woman. Niko na nyinyi. Let's look at this strong independent woman. There we go. So Olivia, whoever that last name is, claims Jason, whatever that last name is, has paid zero in child support, leaving her with the burden of paying 100% of the cost of the children's care. Now, let us try and find out who you ni nani. Let's see if we can understand. Hawataki kutuletea tujue who is this woman. Acha tutafute Uncle Google, alafu tukuje hapa kwa Olivia Wilde. Let's see who she is and what her net worth is. I hope tutaletewa na hata kama ni Wikipedia or Wikipedia something cha tuongeze net worth. 2023. Oh, beautiful. Now, this woman is claiming that the father of her child has paid zero child support, leaving her with the burden of paying 100% with children care, right? Simeona hiyo. This is strong independent woman complaining. Let's see her net worth. Let us see her net worth. So that when you see women wakipiga hizi kelele wanapiganga hapa online, you see what they are saying and you decide you can start kukua mujinga, you be an idiot, Captain Sevaho, so you are coming on. Look at her net worth, $25 million. So a woman who has a net worth of $25 million is complaining that she is that she is carrying 100% of the burden of raising her child. A woman whose net worth is $25 million is complaining. Oh my, oh my. Like I said, women, you think you are smart and you think that you can come in and bring your warrior stories. And of course, I understand Captain Saverhose and other weak men will be running because you are a damsel in distress. You are worth 25 fucking $1 million. You can raise your own child. You are under no difficulty. You are under no financial strain in raising your own child. So just shut up and tuendelee na maisha. Stop with all this nonsense za kushinda tupigia kelele huku, people are thinking you're struggling and you're worth 25 fucking $1 million in 2023. So you have the bag, you have the money, but women huwa wanasikia uchungu wakitumia pesa yao. That is the point. It doesn't matter whether that woman is that village girl mwenye ajaiva hata flota kwa mguu. She has never even held 100 shillings in her own hands. 100 shillings that belongs to her. Yani mtu mwenye hajawahi kuwa na hata 100 bob yake. To a woman who is worth 25 fucking $1 million, their mentality is the same. Why? Because it is in their nature. They are selfish. It is in their nature to be selfish. It is in their nature to do what is beneficial to them only. And if they are doing something and they realize that that person is supposed to be helping me and he's not helping me, she'll cry wolf, she will scream from the top of her lungs. It does not matter whether she can do that task a million times over alone. It doesn't matter whether she's capable of doing that task a million times over. But as long as the man is doing nothing, she will complain. When men out here don't care, and that's the difference between the nature of men and the nature of women. And that's what confuses a lot of young men. They think that their women have the same mentality and mindset as them. And that's why they expect women to appreciate what they are doing for them. And somebody said something very clearly. If she is not your wife, you're not obligated to do anything for her. If she's not your wife, you're not obligated to do anything for her. And also, if she's your wife, there are things you're not obligated to do. Obligated to put a roof over her head, put food in her belly, and make sure she's clothed and she's comfortable. Those are the only things. Napokuwa comfortable, that is on her. She can decide to be comfortable or not. That's not on you. A roof over her head, food in her belly, clothes on her back. That's it. That's provision bit done, locked. Of course, don't beat her up. Ni hizo vitu zingine which are the social norms. Just as a man, stay away from that. So if you decide to take your wife to school, that is charity work. You're not obligated. That's what her father should have done. You're not obligated. But if you choose to do it, that is charity. If you decide to connect your wife to employment, so somewhere where she gets some money, you're not obligated to do it out of charity. If you set up a business for your wife, you're not obligated to do it out of charity. So when it gets to the point where she tells you ni nani alikuambia ufanye, accept that she never told you to do it, or even if she told you to do it, you are not obligated to do it. Okay? You are not obligated to do it, but you did. So that's charity. So if it gets to a point where she's now in a position where she feels she doesn't need you and she exits stage left, just sit down, call yourself for a meeting, and you were obligated to do certain things which you did, good for you. You're not obligated to do certain things which you did, good for you as a man, but she is not appreciative. That's in their nature. So don't come here complaining. All right. So for wives, you have obligations. For women you are dating or women who kuinje random, you are not obligated to do absolutely nothing. Do it out of the goodness of your heart, not because ni charity. Because they will always complain. They will always say you're not doing enough. They will always say you not take advantage and all those nonsense, nini nini. So do it out of the goodness of your heart. So tumeona huyu worth 25 fucking million dollars complaining. So let's look at one of these men. One of these men who refused to accept the nature of women and who had to learn the hard way. Why am I telling you this? Telling you this so that you learn from other people's mistakes. That's the only way we learn. So let's just go to the heart of the story. Eh? To the heart of the story, right? Stop sharing. Then let's share this nice article from tuko.co.ke. So that one is better, inaonekana vizuri, right? Let me just see in my monitor vile inaonekana. Come on. Yes, very nice. So Kisumu man relieves experience of starting life afresh in Mabati house after losing job and girlfriend. This one tunasoma for laughter. 28-year-old told tuko.co.ke that life was going well for him. He had a stable job and in love with a woman whom he believed cared for him. That was until his job came to an end and he was unable to provide for the family. Then all hell broke loose in ways he had never imagined. First, his girlfriend, who had come to his house with 2 kids from previous relationships, started developing negative attitude. Oh, yeah. We simply have to laugh at this man. So, dem akakuja kwako na watoto wawili. 1, 2. Look, 1 is bad. 1 is a catastrophe. 2 is a disaster. But wewe kama Captain Save Her Home ukaamua, you know what? I'm going to save her from herself. I'm going to show you what kind of a loving man I am. What akakuja kwa nyumba yako. So you are taking care of you, her, and her family. Because that was not your family. Those were not your kids. So first of all, let's get that straight. You are taking care of her and her kids, right? And then you lost your job. And then she kicked you out of the house. You brought her in. My friend, you get no sympathy from me. You absolutely get no sympathy from me. Why? Because you are stupid. We've been out here preaching for a minute now. We have too many people who are talking about these things. For the last 6-7 years, people have been talking about these things continuously. Men have been talking about these things continuously. You can't go on YouTube and you miss a place where men are talking about these things. But then you decided that you knew more than the people who came before you, than your elders. And then now you were taught. Experience is the best teacher. Kudos for you for taking care of a woman and her kids when they were in dire need. Now she's on her feet. She doesn't need you anymore. You be kicked out of the cab. That is what happens. You are not the first, you'll not be the last. So you can sit down and feel bad for yourself, which you should. Actually, I think you should just go somewhere, uite wazee wapatie nyahunyu, and you tell them to give you a thorough beating. That was very stupid of you. Okay. But you learned it the hard way. Wanawake, they only do what's best for themselves. So ja tuangalie the next one. Now, let's look at also the delusions of women. Women are delusional to the level where it is crazy. The content. Like now I understand why many YouTubers just talk about women behaving badly or women being crazy or women doing this or women doing that, because it is endless content. I I am a widow seeking to remarry, but in-laws demand I forfeit matrimonial property. We will not even go to the story. Let's just take it there where it is. Let's tujaribu kuweka full screen. I am a widow seeking to remarry. Wacha tutafute mahali tutaiweka mahali itakuwa. Now let's talk about this. You're a widow, you're seeking to remarry. You already have matrimonial property which belong to your dead husband, and I probably you have kids. If you don't, I don't care. Let's not even go into the story, because it does not matter what the content is. What we are discussing is more serious than what the story is about. So now, widow status is that your husband is dead. That's what widow status means. And as a widow, if your husband had given you some property, okay, as a widow, so he gave you that property as his wife. Let me put myself full screen because I want this. This is very serious. As a widow, if you have matrimonial property, that property was given to you by virtue of you being that person's wife. Tumemaliza hapo. That is why you have it. Now, it could have been given to you to hold in trust for the kids, because the kids are young. Because my property as a man belongs to my children, does not belong to you as my wife. You can get benefits of it or from it by virtue of you being the mother of my kids. But that's not your property. That's property for my kids. So you are holding it in trust for my kids. So you cannot sell that property. You cannot exchange it with anything else, because that property does not belong to you. You're only holding it in trust, right? That's if you have kids. So when kids come of age, you give them the property and then they take care of you because you are their mother, right? So they can decide, for this property that we were given by our father, we are going to take this percentage and give it to, or this property, we're going to give it to our mom for her needs. It does not belong to the mom. It belongs to the kid, or the kids who decided, let's dedicate this for the mom. So the mom cannot sell or exchange that property. It is for her needs. She's only benefiting from it by virtue of her being the mother of these kids. So now let's assume that this woman remarries. So now she has stopped being this man's wife or widow to this man. No, she's somebody else's wife. It is the obligation of the husband now to take care of his wife. The dead husband is not obligated to take care of somebody else's wife. So somebody mwenye ako na akili, what you should do if you do not have children and you were given matrimonial property because by virtue of you being this person's wife, right? If you remarry, you should return that property kwa wenyewe, right? Because now you are somebody else's wife. That person should not take care of you. Okay? Very simple. So, and a lot of women understand this. That's why they don't get remarried. They will get boyfriends. They will, because they are human beings. They have needs. They'll get somebody, but they will not marry. Because once you become wife, now you no longer are part of this family, part of somebody else's family. And you are not going to take this family's property over there because it does not belong over there. You go there and you get some other property from your new husband. If you have kids who you are holding, you are holding their property in trust because of them, you being their mother. If now you want to remarry, you should find ways in which you are no longer an executor of those properties. You can either put it in trust where a lawyer is in charge of hizo vitu zote, ensuring proceedings are invested and what and what. And when the children come of age, then they get their property. But you have to relinquish that property. Because now you're somebody else's wife. Go there, let the man take care of you. If the man is able, let him give you properties. Huko, hii property wachana nayo. It is only logical. Even I know, I am sure even when you have an ex-husband who's paying alimony to you as an ex-wife, once you remarry, that payment stops. Why? Because now you're somebody else's wife, right? Now women, I hope mmesomaka kitu hapo. Inauma, but simutazoya. That's the only way for you to survive, for you to understand that si rahisi huku nje. You don't just go get married, unapata property, and then now you want to become somebody else's wife, and then you think that you can just move on na property ya wenyewe. Hell no, rudisha mali ya wenyewe. Now let's look at this. This one. Then we look at the last story, and this is for the young ones. This is simply for the young ones, and I want to keep it very short. I try to do some of these things for the young ones. Ndio you learn mapema before you start making mistakes which most of us are making and your parents' generation are making or made. So what to do when parents reject your spouse? This is very simple. And I'm going to try as much as possible to be fair kwa hii issue. I'm going to try as much as possible to be fair kwa hii issue. So let me bring back myself full screen. Now I just want to talk directly to you. You already seen what we are tackling, what to do when parents reject your spouse. So number one, you need to ask yourself what kind of parents do I have? Right? If your parents have always done what is best for you, if your parents have always done what's best for you, it has not changed now that you think you want to get married. They are doing what's best for you. There is something they have seen in your spouse, and they have realized that that spouse is not what is right for you. Simple. And nitarudia. Let me repeat this for those people who are stupid, thick, blind, we have enough idiots in this world. So let me repeat this. If your parents have always done what is best for you, if they reject your spouse, there is a good reason why. They are still doing what is best for you. Now, there are those parents who really don't care about you so much. Wako. So for those ones, now you as a person have to decide. Because listen, even a broken clock is right twice a day. A broken clock is right twice a day. So even if your parents have not always done what's best for you, this could be that one time they have decided to be parents and do what's best for you. Although you have to approach now this issue with a pinch of salt, right? With the wisdom that is required. So if your parents have not always done what's best for you, this could be that one of those situations where they are doing what's best for you. So you have to really think about it critically. Remove yourself from that situation. Look at your intended or your soon to be spouse. In fact, if you are crazy enough, get one of those friends who is 100% honest, who does not lie to you, or some of those people we call frenemies. Women, you know them. You know now. Those people who you are friends but enemies. Those people who want to see you fall. Let them now look at the spouse and vet. If this person who akutaki, if they tell you to marry that person, usiendelee na hiyo nini hiyo harusi. Why? Because this person is always plotting my downfall. So if they are approving of this person is part of my downfall. If they tell you huyo msee amefanya usioe nini nini, take that as a positive. Then get somebody who you know will be honest with you to vet that person, to meet them, to engage with them, nini, to do background checks. Women are better than FBI and CIA. Just get a woman to do background checks, nini nini, atakuletea stories. And then come there with the mind that I gave this person a task and I will listen to what they have to say. If you're one of those people who does not care about your other people's opinion, just go ahead and fuck up. Stop wasting people's time. Stop wasting our time asking us stupid questions. Just go ahead, marry that person. If you cry, right? But if you're a person who listens, then if your parent has always done what's best for you, if they tell you don't marry so and so, just don't marry them. There'll always be somebody else waiting mahali in time. If you have parents who don't always do what's best for you and they tell you don't marry so and so, listen to it, find out why they are telling you what they are telling you. They might have valid reasons. If the reasons are invalid and you think they are valid but you can work through them, do you. At the end of the day, kwani safara ni nani? Sini wewe, wende utalia, kaa kuna kilio. Right? Exactly. So hizi maswali za what to do when parents reject your spouse. It's very simple. Either accept that rejection, respect your parents' wish and opinions, move on, or marry them and then possibly kesho come back to your parents crying. And down ndo wale watu wenye we really don't give a damn about. Ndo wale watu you come crying and we are like, shut up. Anyway, let us go to the last. Let's watch this reel. Wait. You are going too fast. Unasonga sana. He's moving. He's too fast. What's up, bruh? Kwa mpole. Let's share you fast. Yeah? Aye. Sawa. Now let's look at this. Let's share this thing. We're going to watch a video. And then probably I will talk a little bit about it, but tutaona. Let's see hapa. Let's share this first so that to share video ndio ianze poa. Okay, let's do this.
One of the biggest lies when you're dating a woman It's a woman who's extremely argumentative, dealing with a person who just wants to argue for the sake of arguing.
I cannot overemphasize this. I cannot overemphasize this. Women, there's something we call agreeableness, right? Agreeableness is very important when you are having a relationship with a man. Remember, this man has to deal with an asshole boss. He has to deal with an asshole world. He has to deal with, he has to be out there slaying dragons. Then you want him to come back home and start arguing with you. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? So, and if a woman is overly argumentative, your man just does not even record anything you tell that person. So you might be having a very good, very valid argument and point, but just because you're overly argumentative, you're always arguing, you will just like, I don't have time for this. But now, if you're one of these agreeable women, and then there is this place where you are not budging, then the man will be like, huyu akuagi hivi, si kawaida yake, kwa nini anakataa hii story? Why is she so keen on this story? Why is she arguing for this or against this with this much passion? Because she's not like this. Then that's where your words now have value. It's like that story of the boy who cried wolf. So he cried wolf too many times as a joke. So when the wolf came and was devouring him, people thought he was joking. So that's what happens when, as a woman, you're argumentative. Now, the time when you are saying something that really makes sense, something that could really change maybe the man's life or your life together, then now the man is like, no, let's continue. That's one.
And this is a common female trait that is frustrating to deal with. If you think that this is going to get better when you get married, you're deadly wrong.
No.
So if you want your peace, if you want your serenity, do not get involved with a woman who's argumentative.
Hallelujah. This now comes back to men. This now comes right down now to who? To the men. Do not marry these argumentative women, because that will be your life throughout. But if you marry them, stop complaining, because you knew what you are getting into. Okay? Men also, we fuck ourselves up and then we run to social media complaining and starting YouTube channels and doing all this nonsense. We fucked up. You fuck up sometimes. So when you fuck up, you're like, that was my bad. I knew she was like that. I thought she could change. I was wrong. I fucked up. Simple. Just take accountability. And this man is very right. It's very frustrating. We can't be out there arguing with the world and then we come back home and start arguing with you. That's not happening.
Women have to understand how to communicate, to understand that her husband's opinion have value. Yes, she can question him, but wait, hear what he has to say first. Don't argue for the sake of arguing. Listen, understand his points, then communicate your concerns.
So there is this thing where women communicate contexts, men communicate content. Okay? So what does that mean? A woman, when she's communicating, she's not only communicating the words, she's not only speaking, she's also speaking about her feelings towards what is it she's talking about. So if whatever she's talking about is something that made her angry, she's communicating not only that she felt angry, but even that anger is in that communication. But men communicate content. So it is what they are saying that is important and not why. But for women, it is not what they are saying that is important, it is why they are saying it. So if a man comes home, Gioni, and says, I am tired, that's simply what he's saying, I am tired. But a woman, when she comes home in the evening and says, I am tired, It's not about her being tired, it is why she's tired. And now, some women don't understand that men, on average or in general, communicate content. So when a man says, hiyo kitu imenikasirisha, it's just simple. The thing has made him angry. That's the only thing amesema. Hajasema wewe umemkasirisha, amesema ile kitu umefanya imemkasirisha. So now don't, and women like this, they twist it like, sasa mimi unanika, no, si wewe nimekasirikia, wewe ndio umenikasirisha. Ile kitu umefanya ndio imefanya nikasirike. It's not like I am angry with you. I am angry with you because you did something. That's why I'm telling you, hiyo kitu ulifanya imenikasirisha, si wewe umenikasirisha. But women will come and say, wewe umenikasirisha, you made me angry. And now you have to ask why. But a man just comes straight and says, this thing you did made me angry. So it's about the thing you did, not you, it's the thing you did. And by virtue of you doing that thing, that's why I am angry. And because I can't be angry at that thing, that's why my anger is directed to you, because you are the one who did that thing. But for women, they come and say, I am angry with you. And then now you have to start finding out the why. But the why is already there. So already you know why he's angry with you. So it's very frustrating when you're trying to communicate something and your woman is just arguing and she has not even listened to you. She doesn't know what you are about to say. Najua ile tunataka kusema. It's like, okay, basi sema. And then she says a completely different thing. So you are wondering, is she stupid? Is she an idiot? Or is she crazy? What did I marry? So don't be that type of a woman.
That's what a man wants. He wants a second voice. He don't need someone who stops his thought process. It's a big difference, okay? Are you in a marriage or you're in a relationship where your woman is argumentative? One of the biggest red flags.
Very nice. You see? That's a very simple thing. That's a very simple concept. He's telling you this, or he's communicating something because he wants you to give him your feedback, your context, because he's giving you content, especially when he's planning to do something. For example, he's planning to do something, take an action, he's planning something for the family. He's communicating content so that you can give him feedback on context, not to try and mess up his content, and let him finish his content first so that you can understand the content, so that you can give the context. So if I come home and I say to my wife, nafikiria hii end of the month tuende ushago tukaone wazazi wako or wazazi wangu, right? Then she's supposed to ask, okay, what is the occasion? Then I can communicate and say, probably tumeka sana hatujaenda kuona wazazi, we need to go see our parents, nini. So I'm going to do a bit of shopping, nini. Then she has to come in and say something like, but you do understand that when we go ushago, we are not only just going kwetu, kutakuwa na these other family members around who wakisikia tumekuja will want to come and visit, and you know in our place this is what happens. So now that is context. The content ya kuenda iko sawa, but now these are the things we need to understand. And also you remember there is this thing you promised my mom which you have not done, so she's probably angry. So when you are doing this thing, could we also do this so that we don't go and then tuanze kuuliza the same questions to you leave? You get? So she's making the picture clearer because she's grounding it in context. For me, I was just about the content ya kuenda. So for me, probably I just thought Kahaya, I put our kids, we drive there, we do a bit of shopping to Fike, we do what we do, then we leave. Right? But then she will remind me that there is 1, 2, 3 which we are supposed to have done, we did not do. We cannot just go and start doing all these new things when the old things have not been done. And then you remember there is my aunt who lives wapi, who will come nini nini, and aezi enda mkono tupu. So now my mind opens up. And then I realized, the budget I had put for this is actually small. So I need to add something more. So am I in a position to cater for that? If the answer is yes, then now we go when I understand not only the content, but the context. Sawa sawa. So women, if your man cannot say, we are doing this because I said so, and then you just answer, okay, and you are good with it, please, I will just tell you to go back to your parents, ukujiwe tena. Because you cannot be two men in the house. One has to be the wife. When your man communicates something that you disagree with, and you give your counterpoints, and then he says it is still going to happen, you have to accept that. Why? Because he is the driver, he is the vision carrier. He wants to do it. If it is a mistake, let him make that mistake. And when he makes that mistake, the first thing you will remember is, my wife told me this was a mistake. So what happens to you? Your advice gets more valuable, right? Gets more valuable because you told him, if you do this, possibility ya hii na hii na hii kufanyika iko very hard. And then now the man decides, I'm going to do it anyway. So then one of the things you had pointed out happens. Then he says, I married a wise woman, so I need to respect her counsel. So this has been the Sunday Shenanigans, and we've been doing the Crucifixion special because you know what? Jesus, we dealt with him. He's supposed to resurrect today. I don't know where he's at. Yesu Atongareng disappeared. So double salute. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching me even after the fact. So Asawa, let's meet again next Sunday. I have been your Bishop, Reverend, Pastor Kamaua Mwega, and this has been the Mwegas Show. Kwaherini.